I'm in a mood this morning. I'm in one of those moods where it feels like there's so much advice out there. There's so many self-help books. So many YouTube videos that have systems and solutions. And so much of it is just BS. And I like offering thoughts and solutions and even, systems sometimes. And, there's a need for that sometimes. And some of it isn't BS, but there is so much out there that's BS, and it's really hard to tell sometimes. And I'll give you an example of just this might be like a good demonstration of just how I feel about this exactly. So I have this journal that I've been going through. I like getting some of these guided journals, from time to time, and just going through them and seeing what I find. And this one it's just morning and evening, and it has so every morning you write down 3 things you're grateful for. Then you write down greater truth, which is the question it says is, what is one absolutely true thing about myself or God? And then you have good day grace. What is one thing in my control that would make this day a good one? And see, that sounds like a great system, right? It sounds nice and everything. But if you think about it, what is one thing in my control that would make this day a good one? Is there ever one thing in my control that would make an entire day good? I don't know. Other than I just put, so here's my answer. This kind of tells you how I feel right now, I guess. I put, today, this question feels like toxic positivity. One thing doesn't make a whole day good or not. And it's actually, it's a cognitive distortion to say like a whole day was good or a whole day was not good because of one thing that was done or not done, one moment or whatever. It's black and white thinking. It's a very common cognitive distortion, cognitive bias. Just to think, I have a headache, so my whole day is ruined. Well, that's not really true. Like, what about all the other body parts of you that feel good right now? Or what about, I don't know, the sun that's still shining, or the breath you're still breathing. So there's a lot of stuff out there that seems like that. It seems, like really good system or good solution, and it's hard to know sometimes too until you've done it for a long time. But cognitive distortions and biases, they go unnoticed for a long time. And I think that's maybe one of the best systems or solutions that we do have is self-awareness and self reflection. I think that's almost never bad advice, to just pause and reflect for a little bit. I think we can always grow from that. Especially if our aim is growth, if we're pausing to self-reflect and aiming to growth or grow or discover something. But there are just so many systems and solutions out there, and I think that we need more just presence. I think in this day and age we have an abundance of systems and solutions, an abundance of problems and an abundance of fixes, and you could pay billions of dollars and get all the fixes, and still probably everything would be broken. So Self-reflection, I think, is important. But if you think about, there's a parable, or there's a story from the New Testament, and Jesus was with Martha and Mary. I'm sure you're either familiar with it or you could find it online pretty easily. It's very common. Just like any New Testament story, it's well known. It's easy to find. So just look up the story of Martha and Mary. Basically, one of the sisters, they're two sisters. Jesus is visiting them, and one of them is going around doing everything, serving everybody, getting drinks, cooking the food, doing all this. And the other sister is just sitting there with Jesus, being present with him. And the sister that's doing everything, moving around, complains and says, "My sister should be helping me. Won't you tell her, Jesus? Tell her to help me." And Jesus says, actually, she chose the better option. She chose to just be present with me. Mic drop, That's it. It's like, so the problem is that stuff doesn't usually, being present it's not super stimulating, I guess, or whatever. It's become devalued. But I think I think there's at least some people know its value, and I think it's going to become more and more valuable. It's devalued in the sense that it's not economically or financially valuable, right? Presence isn't it's hard to find it's hard to just title a YouTube video me being present and then just me sit there and be present with you, because it's a broadcast. It's not just one-on-one sitting together, or just a small group of people sitting together. And probably with the dawn of broadcast media was when presence stopped being as valuable. Probably the printing press. That was essentially the beginning of broadcast media. I mean, there were smoke signals. That was like one of the earliest broadcasts, right? Like a smoke signal that meant like danger is approaching or something, and everybody around could see that broadcast message. But I think what's going to happen now is, with everything is being broadcasted so much. There's so much broadcasting. There's so much, and then we have AI. And then all this broadcasting can become perfect and absolutely, completely inhuman. And human presence then is going to be rare. It's becoming rare. It's so rare right now. If you've ever gone to a restaurant with people who, aren't intentional about being present, they're probably on their phone, bouncing around. They probably think that something's really important that they need to immediately respond to. So they're texting really fast, or like answering a phone call or whatever. And they just don't stop and think. Like 30, 40 years ago, in all of human existence before that, there were no cell phones. Like, this would not have been an immediate problem. The immediate problem was like the person sitting in front of me, right? Presence. And still being present was a problem, right? Even in Jesus's time. But I think it became a lot less valuable with the dawn of broadcast media, and because one person could be pseudo present with a whole bunch of people all at once. One person can write a book and be pseudo present with a whole bunch of people reading that book at the same time, but it's not real presence. It's very mediated presence, technologically mediated presence. And so that real presence, it's definitely becoming rare. And usually when something becomes rare or scarce, it becomes more valuable. And so I think presence is, I think just being and presence are going to be like super valuable. And I think that's one of the best things that's going to happen with all this social media and AI and stuff. Like you can create perfect pseudo presence. And by doing that, my hope is that everybody or enough people will start to realize that pseudo presence is not a good substitute for presence. And that just being with somebody, just being present is such a gift, and it's so valuable. And it's not hard either. It's like kind of what we were meant to do. Like we're very relationship oriented beings. So those are my thoughts on systems and solutions. How did we go from systems and solutions to presence? I guess that's what happens when you because we're just gonna have so many. Yeah, I guess it's because they're right now we're so systems and solutions focused, and we're not present. We're not. We're so focused on the parts that we don't see the whole. We're so left-brained that we ignore the right. We're so judging that we ignore openness or just simple experience. We put a label on something instead of just experiencing it for a little bit. And I don't think that's good for us as human beings. It's got its benefits. Science has come up with some profound solutions and cures and things like that. And it's worth acknowledging that, polio, that's sad and scary. And mostly eradicated now, thanks to science. But we need that other side too, the art, the seeing, not just the parts but the whole, the seeing differently. Not just the solutions or the systems, but the presence, the experience. Not just the knowledge, but the wisdom. Yeah, I don't know. You get the idea. I think good news is that I really do think we're now at a kind of like a critical point where things, AI is going to just create such perfect broadcasts and make it so abundant that it loses its value, and that then we hopefully start to see more of the value of presence and experience instead of just knowledge. So, and if not, it'll be all right. It is what it is. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Peace.